Hello everybody and welcome to Whispabird Whispacorp Studios. This is Studio 1 where I troubleshoot all of my Planet Coaster 2 projects. The first project I wanted to troubleshoot or work with and stage, really is what we're going to be doing, is this Kelpie animatronic that I made. When I say animatronic, I say it lightly because it doesn't really move yet, but it has the makings of a movable animatronic. So this thing is made out of Viking rock pieces, as you can see, Viking rock sculpture. So the barrel of the Kelpie, which very much looks like a horse, is actually the Viking rock because it has that nice shape. Everyone loves a good, nicely shaped rock, right? And then his face, or her face, as you can see, is made up of coral and more different types of aquatic rocks. I used the sea lettering, like, you know, that you can, the customizable lettering that you can put on buildings and signs. I use those to make the mouth. All of this is still a work in progress, which is why I said it's still at my Whispabird studio over here. Used pool floaties in order to make nostrils with little dark circles inside to give the illusion of depth. And then the eye billboards. And I used some nice heather for the mane, and I really like that because it moves just as a horse's mane would, or a sea monster, I guess, because that's what we're looking at. Technically, a Kelpie is a sea monster. And then we've got coral seaweed for the mane, forelock, and tail. So very appropriate for a Kelpie, as kelp and seaweed are pretty similar. And the other really cool thing about this is when you use the aquatic rocks for this, they have barnacles. If it would let me zoom in on the barnacles. There we go. Oh yeah, that really let me zoom in. Okay. We've got barnacles that are already on the little leg pieces that I used, which are just the individual aquatic rock statues arranged in different ways. So that is what I'm working with. Oh, and of course the head pieces are pieces of coral, and this little interesting coral flare I have above the eye as like the little divot that the eye goes into, because otherwise it just looks like a giant brain, which, you know, coral basically looks like a brain anyway. So anyway, this is the Kelpie I've made. It's going to be used for a bigger project of mine. The whole idea of my Whispabird studio map is just to test things before I bring them over into like a bigger map, or one of the different maps that we can use. I think the developers are adding a whole bunch of the campaign maps that we can use as sandboxes. So that's going to be the plan. So the goal today is to stage this and see kind of how I could work it into a ride. I found some reference frames of some Scottish glens for a little bit of glenspiration so that I could put the Kelpies where they belong. And I really liked this reference frame because I could totally see a boat ride going through a modified version of this. I really liked the deep green theming, as well as the fallen log, because it just looks really natural, and also the tiered bottom layer that's in a bit of a different color to outline the form of the little glen that we have going on here. I already have an idea for a riverboat ride or a rapid or a flume or something, where we're going to have to either help Kelpies, hunt them, or solve some kind of mystery involving Kelpies. As you can see, my Kelpie is rather friendly looking. It looks kind of cute, and it looks like you want to pet it. It doesn't look scary. This will be my first animatronic I've ever made, so I'm still like getting used to how to really detail things in a way that gets across the emotion you want. I give you a slightly angrier Kelpie. I figured out that I could take the half circle pieces and slant them as if they were either eyelids or like eyebrows pointing down. I also decided to try making a more kid-friendly or like girls ride Kelpie kind of thing. So I think that'll be interesting to use as I figure out how to make the actual animatronic move. So first step, I think, is to move this over into the water. I made a nice backdrop. Yes, that is Loch Ness. Kelpies are Scottish water monsters. Nessie isn't the only water monster that Scotland has that I think is interesting. So let's get this into the water. Lower this down, and there is our Kelpie in its natural habitat, kind of. There it is. I think it looks pretty cool. So some of my goals will be to make this thing movable and maybe have its tail swish and flick some water at guests, or water come out of its mouth or nose. Maybe little ear swivels. It's always cute when like horses and donkeys and stuff move their ears like that. And I think something I could test right now would be to get this moving in the water. So I do have this. I'm gonna move it over here. And I'm gonna do this above water before I put the whole thing in the water. And I'm going to duplicate it first. I'm gonna actually duplicate it a few times because I'm afraid I'm gonna accidentally delete something and then it'll be gone. I'm gonna save it as a blueprint at the end of this video, and assuming things work out, I will make it available on the workshop. I don't know what kind of quality of an animatronic it would be for everybody, but people would be more than willing, or more than welcome to use it. There we go. Attached to moving platform. There we go. So our Kelpie moves. Let's do slow and play once every 5 seconds. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. So it's going to go back and forth. So that looks really cool. Now the next step is going to be to put it in the water and see what it looks like in the water. Let's see, how high do we want it? Like that maybe? Okay, what does that look like? That's kind of cool. And I think there should be a way for me to put it on top of the moving platform that also goes up and down so that we could get it to like gently oscillate up and down. Let's try. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's try doing that. I'm curious how hard that would be to do. So this is like my first moving animatronic ever. So be patient with me. So platform, and I believe this is the one that makes things go up and down. There we go. Okay, let's slow it down first of all, because slow, explosive. Yeah, we're just gonna do slow down to up. And we're gonna only play it once every 4.5 seconds. And then we're gonna take this and move it. Success? Is this successful? Is that it? It works. It works. Oh, this is so cool. Look at it. It goes up and down as if it's in the water. Okay, this is so cool. This is awesome. I don't know what exactly this is going to look like, and I can fine tune it when I actually do the ride, but like, oh wow, this is really cool. Look at this thing. It moves. All right. So then another thing I thought would be really cool is if I just had like a few static baby Kelpies that, you know, like the Hydrosaur in the Universal ride, Jurassic Park ride, where it like shoots up and then spouts water. So it's a little tricky to do this because I'll show you with this Kelpie. What I really wanted to do was scale this down. The problem is oh, is this the whole thing selected? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, what did I just do? Did I just do something? Did something just change? I hope something didn't just change. Anyway, the problem with this is when you work on scaling something down, not all of the pieces can scale at the same ratio. So as you can see, the legs are staying huge, the rest of the body is getting small, and now it's turning into some kind of monstrosity. And then the same goes if you do the opposite way. And it's kind of cool because you can see how I put it together, how it deconstructs when you do this, when you mess with the scaling. So those are all of the different pieces that came into the Kelpie. So we're going to do this and put it back to its normal size. So when considering the baby, the coral pieces around the eyes, this is as small as they get. So if I were to try and scale this down and make a smaller Kelpie, it would be a baby Kelpie with like huge eye fans. I don't know what to call them, divots where the eyes go. So this is the smallest Kelpie that I could make. And let's edit this. So this coral needs to maybe go down a little bit because it's looking, let's reset the values of that. So yeah, the coral was looking a little bit too brainy, like a little bit too big. I might just end up replacing, it doesn't look too bad. Most horses have a little bit of a high point between their ears anyway, so that doesn't look terrible. Oh, but see, this is where scaling messes up. So this eye needs to be fixed. I might be able to just rotate it up. Yeah, there we go. Almost. Rotate it up and we'll pop it out a tiny bit. And there we go. Okay. So this will be the baby Kelpie. And we are just going to have it sit in the water. Like right here, right here as mom goes by. And I think that is so cute. It's just chilling there as mom is doing her thing, or dad, I guess. And then we can have it gently pop out of the water as well. Let's see, this is another vertical platform. So we will put this here, and then I will pause the game again because I cannot keep up with how quickly the vertical platform is popping. And we will attach these things, but maybe I do have to do it as it's moving. There we go. Okay. So I can fix that later, how the platform goes through the actual thing. I think we're going to do slow down to up, and we're going to have it play every 7 seconds. All right. I would like to edit just the Kelpie, but I'm not sure that that's going to let me do that, which is fine. So just for now, we're just going to let it go like this. Oh, that's way too far out of the water. So let's advance to move that down. There, that's a little bit better. Okay, so it goes almost completely submerged and it just looks like a little plant under there. And then it'll come up almost all the way out of the water. So now we've got those two ideas that we can use for the Kelpie ride. So this is going to be a part of a bigger project of mine that I'm working on, where I'm going to have a kind of like an interactive ride with hidden things in it. Like if you like the hidden Mickeys around Disney World, or the Easter eggs. So like in the Universal Jurassic Park ride, there's the Barbasol can from the movie that's in that ride, and it's supposed to be a hint towards all of the DNA getting loose because Dennis Nedry was in his Jeep trying to get off the island before the big storm and all that fun stuff. So it's going to be interactive, in that I might hide some like mysteries in the rides for you guys to figure out, because I think that's really fun. I think such a strong point of theme parks is being able to make stories based around really cool themes. So, of course, the story and the theme I'm going to try and wrap my ride around is going to be Kelpies. And Kelpies are actually really cool Scottish myths, folklore. The idea behind these things was that mothers were trying to keep their crazy children away from dangerous waters, and they would say, oh, you don't want to go near that dangerous body of water because there's a Kelpie in there and it's going to take you and drown you. And then also, young women were told to stay away from unknown men to them, because the rumor was that Kelpies could also take human form and kind of snatch women. So Kelpies were used as a deterrent, basically, the mythology of the Kelpie. But I just think they're really cool creatures, and of course I love horses, so I had to try and make a sea monster that had something to do with horses, and Kelpies seemed like the best bet. As I said, that's Loch Ness in the background. I just thought it would be cool to stage these things kind of based on the land where they originate. Okay, so this is part 1 of that project. The next steps are going to be figuring out how to get the actual, like, the head of the Kelpie to move so that it's not just a static up and down. It's like it does like a little shake, or maybe the ears swivel, which is really cool when horses or donkeys or anything with ears really moves their ears. It's kind of cute. As I said, maybe the kelp swishes water off the back of the tail. I have so many cool ideas for this. So yeah, that's just a look at my behind the scenes Kelpie animatronics. All right, I think I've covered everything. I hope, as always, that you guys are enjoying whatever it is that you're playing, particularly if you are playing some creative type games like Planet Coaster 2. Oh man, when you get up close to that thing, it shows some of its flaws. Far away, it's not so bad. Close up, it's a little rough. Work in progress. But anyway, any relevant links will be in the description box down below. As I said, I hope you guys are enjoying your games, and I will catch you all in the next video.